Okay, we are now live. This is part 67 of the Game Engine live stream, and this is file loading, saving the maps, and etc. Part 12. I'm just gonna put my phone on charge. It's literally at 1%. We are looking at getting the file stuff back. Before we get it saved, let's need to do some, I think, the Json handling. I need to get that sorted. I was having a few issues with that. Get that sorted. And the stream's only going to be about 45 minutes. Started late today, so it's going to be about 45 minutes. And then we will wrap up, and then we'll be doing another stream after for a Lego assembly stream. Me and my wife will be doing that. Okay, so let's give this a run. See what we get. I think it was getting some crash, I believe. Yes. Was it this line that was crashing? Yep, same crash error. To JSON, prints this off like so. For some reason it does not like parsing that. Even though that is a string. I don't know. Let me try running this just in case. We'll see if this works better. Same error. That is weird. Well, that should take a string. If I go to definition, oh no, this is open. Damn, that is one meteor's comment. That's what you call a slick ass comment. How many lines of code is this? $25,000 lines. Undefined. Yeah, like over 100 lines of undefined. Yo, this is what you call some nice code. I don't think there's one guy, but like the whole people. I think there's one guy that overall did it, but there was a bunch of contributors to it as well. Yeah, this is some nice looking code. This is. There's a shit ton of else's nicely commented. It is. Yeah, this is what you call beautiful code. Okay, let's get rid of that. And before I forget, here is the Discord group. So in here, when we used it, we would get file date, file file data, I don't think I have the high scores anymore. I can look on GitHub if I don't. I'll have to look at GitHub. What that looked like for the JSON stuff. Okay, so code, resources, and scores.json. Pixelpad says, hey Farhan, tough for your content. You're welcome, Alex. And Pixelpad says, how's it going? It's going well. It's been a while since you've been on the stream. Actually, been a while since you commented on the streams at the very least. Possible that you was already on here before, but if you wasn't, welcome back. I remember we used to. It was some of the early PS5 live streams and these as well. How's your, what did you say, was he at university or college? How's that stuff going? However, majorly any different to this. This is a bit more complex, but I don't see how. Okay, let me copy this and whack it directly in the splash state. So I'm going to directly put it here. We don't like that. I'm finally finished assignments. That's good stuff, good stuff. Have you submitted it, or you just finished them and you still got to submit them? Final place with this. Let's see what happens if I run this now. Okay, that works. So that means let me open this one up. Oh, where is that other one? Give us a run. No point to streaming this. You're welcome to leave. Raj. All submitted. That's good stuff. I'm doing an internship now. That's cool. Internship is all online, so I have sweet F4 to do. That's good. So yeah, there's a lot of people in that sort of situation. My cousin, he started it physically last summer, and everything that's been going on with more lockdowns, he's having to do it remote, and it's not much, to be fair. So yeah, oh good. I want to get this. What is the internship anyway? What are you doing? I'm less fussed about what company you're working for. I know a lot of people will be like, oh, I'm working for this and this company. More fussed about what you're doing, because if you're working, let's say, for a big company like Google, but you're doing jack, and that's not as impressive as, let's say, you're working for a company I haven't heard of, but you're doing something really complex and amazing. It's not hard to differentiate, you know, from doing something amazing or not, or like you know, somebody that's bullshitting. But if the person be honest, then you'd be like, okay, yes, Google, but that don't mean much. So what are you working on now? So yeah, it's been a while since you've been on the stream, so a lot has gone down. At the moment, doing file loading and saving, and got file loading and saving done. Got high scores as a result, built on top of that class done, and now we are doing a basic map 2D map manager, and there's a lot of features that we've added. And then after we've done this, we'll be starting on GUI. Famous.hub app. Ah, that's cool. Working on the parser. Well, what are you parsing from what end to what end now? You know, what's the data coming in as, like what format? You don't like this. You don't like this at all. So what about this? It's so different between the two. Okay, so what about I'm literally going to delete all but the last one, just to keep the comparison simple. Let me copy that, make sure this is still working. Nope, that won't be. I'll do a manual change on all of these. Give this a run. Good job. I have signed an NDA and it's in-house software, so I can't say much more. Fair enough. I have worked on carbon intensity API as well. Okay, sounds cool. Enjoying it? It's a very important part. How have you just started the internship, I'm guessing? So is it basically from the start of the year to the end of the year? You don't mind this? Got some drop frame, but that's minor, the amount. So why does it like that? But it don't like this. Let me. No, it's not just. Oh, this has numbers. Okay, so let me really simplify it. Let me do this. If I put this in there. Find interesting from Jan to May. Okay, so it's what, like a 4 or 5 month one. They will employ me in the summer if I want. Oh, that's cool. Where are the JSON files from? On my JSON files, currently they're just test files that I'm using. I'm just figuring out some parsing issues, so that works. Question is, that worked? Okay, so if I delete this one now, and I do find all, copy that, paste this here now. Slowly gonna figure out what is it moaning about. It's funny that I'm working in JSON parsing as well. That's cool. What language, can you mention what language you're using? That works better as well. Okay, let's try the next one. Wondering if it's the issue with the spaces. Impossible. Give that a run. Gibberish. That's fair enough. That works as well. So I got 3 more to test now. So if I remove this one now, these 2 I should say, find all /. Doing this sort of tedious stuff, it's so, boring, but it's so fun having it, with the community. When you're commenting, when you're, regardless of what it is, even if you're not providing some tips on how to resolve this. Basically, what am I trying to do? So the thing is, I'm getting a bunch of data from a CSV file, and I can convert that to a JSON using this format really easily. I need to figure out how to actually utilize how to actually utilize that data, and I can convert it to a JSON. I've got JSON parser already, added externally. I've used this JSON parser before. For some reason, this JSON parser ain't working, so this is the output that we're getting from it. This is the last one. For some reason, it's not working. C++? Yeah, it's C++. Here we go. You don't like that? me try something. Is it because the last one is an? I mean, let's just try it. Let's just search for it. Obviously, this will be problematic, but we can start resolving the issue if we can figure if the issue is this or not. There's space there beside the 08. Yeah, I saw that. Between the 08. Yeah, that's not causing the issue. Actually, what space are you referring to? Yeah, that's not causing the issue. The issue seems to be the last one is a number. It does not like that for some reason. So let me try this. Let me make one that's not a number, but that's not the last one. So like this, do 48. Let's edit this. I don't know why I did that. Don't mind that either. It's when the last one is a. So let me have a look at this. This will be, but this one was a number, but saying that it was within something else. That's probably why I didn't mind it. Whereas if I do this for the last one. This should crash at line, what was it, 5,450 or something, and in that was a file. Hey, strange as hell. Let me try this. In here I'll put this, and then I'll put run this. We got the colon, curly brace. You don't mind that then. Some reason. It's not like the last thing being wood. Okay. Okay. All my stuff, I guess, would be a characters, so I don't think we would have this issue per se, but I still would like to know why. So let's have a look. If it's a known issue, if I'm not formatting the JSON properly. exactly what we're trying to do. Let me try running this. Does this work now? How is that much different? CV. If we go to map manager, we effectively have a map. Can we save it in our TSV? Guess we could. So if I edit this, I don't want Notepad++. What am I doing? This is what I want. Yep, let's try giving this a run. I don't know why. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 4, 5. I don't need this. Let's try giving this a run now. So I think what's happening is it doesn't have a key. It's using the other and it doesn't want to use array, does it? It doesn't like to print anything out. Dead. 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, 5. So let me have a look. Is it because if that's the issue? Okay. There's every item there now. Let's have a look. Should be 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's better. We're getting there. We are getting there. And now if I was to do this instead, would this work the way we want it to? If it does, we're in a good position. Seems like it. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 25. Okie dokie. So that is almost there now. And so we've got that. It needs to be all on one line. That's not a problem at all. And we need to be able to save a file now. So if we go to map manager, void save map, const std colon string file path. That's it, it'll be an override anyway. So we would say, first of all, we need to form the string. So std colon map string map CSV. By default it's going to equal that. So we're going to loop over everything like so. Okay, that's looping over everything. Then we'll get X and Y. So we're going to say map CSV plus equals I'm doing underscore map X underscore map Y don't need this, that's all I need. Plus equals a quotation mark I want to see if it's at the end as well. Is greater than is equal to array size that and as long as that's false, then we'll keep adding this. So let's say file manager file manager dot say dot write to file, and file path, and then we specify the actual string itself, which will be map CSV, and then we specify the write property. I want to say file manager write property, and to current line because it'll be the first line anyway, and then we're going to say create if doesn't exist true, and overwrite if exists true. So let's have a look. Map manager 2 by 2, and we're going to say map dot save maps resources / test dot csv. I don't know, let's give this a run, see what happens. I feel like it might actually work. Let's have a look. That preview's a bit too big. No crashes, which is good. Test.csv has been created. Open with Sublime. We get BB because it's a 2 by 2. That's looking pretty darn good. If I do 2 by 3, 2 by 4, we should get 8 of them now, and it should override it as well. We don't have the load from file yet, but we'll get that done as well. They put one at the end, comma at the end. Okay, so this thing didn't work here. Where did I put X there? That should be 0, sorry. So why I put X there? Are you going to make a 2D game after this? You mean after this feature? Or in general after I've added a bunch of stuff to the engine? That's working well now. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. So almost done. Comment this bad boy. Apparently we don't. There's a bunch of stuff that hasn't been commented properly here. I mean, we're missing the file path comment for both of them. That is just, what is going on there? Let's fix that up right now. Of the file, I'm just gonna put of the file. File manager. Put that there. Put that there. Put that there. Put it over here. It's good stuff. We'll put that over here. Save the map array. Load file. I'm just going to put it as that because I'm going to actually load the file next, and I'll be doing that tomorrow. So I'll give this a quick build. It'll give me an error. I'll commit, push to push origin, and then we'll be all good. Master. There we go. Okay, so we got a bunch of errors. Just that one thing that's causing all these errors is ridiculous. Sometimes one thing can cause so many errors. Map saving to CSV file done. Loading from a CSV file to do. Okay, so it's Q&A time for a couple of minutes. I mean, literally just a quick couple of minutes. Push origin. There we go. Damn, my phone ain't charged much, you know. Okay, so that's that done. I want to wrap up in a second. You know what? I'm going to pop to the toilet. If there's no questions or anything that anyone wants to discuss about the engine or life or anything in general or business, wherever, then I'll wrap up. So yeah, made some good progress. It was a quick stream, but made some good progress nevertheless. See you in a moment. What's the reason for making the engine? Okay, so the reason for making the engine is two reasons. One, it's fun to do. I love doing these sort of stuff. Two, every time I go to make a game, like an idea that I've got, I'm having to do too much engine setup or generic game setup that is generic in a bunch of games. And game engines like Unreal, Unity, Cocos, SFML as a game framework, media library do alleviate that, but they have their own constraints. Unreal and engines like Unreal and Unity, they're so high level, they're just over. There's too many features there. It's overcomplicated for a basic game. Something like SFML is too low level, not OpenGL low level, but still too low level. And see, all this sort of stuff, this is just built on top of SFML. These are stuff that you probably at one point in some game would need, but they're all still pretty generic features. So once I've got these created, and I'll add more as I create games with it, I can just reuse this code right here. So this file manager stuff, so like it's basic file manager stuff. It is basic stuff, but I don't want to spend a week figuring out this file manager stuff to get it to work when it just works. It's like in the map manager, I call this one, what's this one about? Oh yeah, I know what this one about. Yeah, I'll call this one method. So basically these two lines allow me to save a file. That's it. Allow me to do like specify the file, allow me to specify data. It allowed, and you could have either vector of strings if you didn't want to have one line. You could have it add to current line, remove current line, override file, create new files. But all of that behind the scenes is being handled by all of majority of this. That's the thing, plus the header file as well. And it's like using cout for example, std : cout, blah blah blah. You don't rewrite that every single time you want to create a project. So I'm like, I don't want to rewrite a file manager. I might tweak it or upgrade it if I need to, or create something on top of it, like the map managers on top of it. The map manager, I'll say, is more game specific. The file manager is more just application generic, and I'll say map manager is more game generic and file manager is more application generic, but we're still building on top of all of that stuff. So it's just a way to allow me to create games easily. Something, let's say if I get an idea in my head and it's something really simple and realistically should only take 2 hours, maybe only half an hour to implement, I don't want to have to spend 4 or 5 days implementing that thing that should only take an hour or so to implement, just because I'm having to do a lot of engine setup stuff. And that's basically the motivation. So there'll be no interaction with SFML by the end of it. The user won't. User meaning a developer like myself. When we're using the engine, we'll just be interacting with the game engine stuff. And with that, there's certain third-party libraries that we've included, like JSON stuff, CSV, and PuGXML, which is XML stuff. And that's just included, and we've got that working as well. Plus, we've got a bunch of other really cool features that we can have a look at. We got scrolling background stuff done. Like that scrolling background stuff, that took a bit of time, and that's what 250 lines in here. How many lines is it in the header file? Obviously I know there's comments, but I still feel that's part of it. So almost 500 lines of code, and again I'm including the comments as a part of that. That's obviously important code to get working, and it works now. There are ways, we're already thinking of how to improve that, make it better. There are still limitations to it, but it's better than not having these features. What kind of game were you making? If I wanted to make a 2D engine for pixel art, have you any recommendation of docs? Okay, so I'll answer the second question first. if you want to make a 2D engine for pixel art, I don't think you really need to be specific for pixel art. You just need to be more for 2D than 3D, like what I'm doing. There's no reason why pixel art or I don't know, a non-pixel art style game can't be made in this engine. You might want an engine that's more genre specific, so a racing game will be slightly different to a beat 'em up game, but even then you could do that in the one engine, but that might change how you approach the engine. With the pixel art stuff, because obviously pixel art, I'm assuming, have the artwork, the sprites created as pixel art before you put it into the game engine, before you hit the engine side. So like using something like Photoshop or Illustrator or GamePoint or whatever you're using, you'll create the pixel art at that level. So putting a sprite in there, as long as you got sprites functionality, doesn't really matter. Like that's the way I see it. And what kind of game will you be making? Okay, so let me show you this. And a sprite, I'll check that in a second. Notes. Okay, so once version 1 of the version 0.1 of the engine is done, which is most of the features, if not all of them, we'll be working on a simple Pong. And every time we do it, I have no doubt that we'll come across bugs in the engine, we'll come across ways of improving the engine, we'll come across features that aren't in the engine but should be in the engine because they're generic. I have no doubt that we're going to hit either one or all three of them every single time we do it, and that's the whole point of doing these games. We'll progressively get harder with 5 clones: Pong, Brick Breaker, Snake, Pac-Man and Tetris. That'll really test out the engine. And then after, we'll be at version 1.0 alpha will launch when we create our own brand new game live. All code for the engine plus all code for the game will be open source, 100% free, and this will just be some sort of simple arcade high score game. Like think of it like Flappy Bird. Not gonna be Flappy Bird, but something where it's just really only the one screen and that's all it is, just something happening. Then 1.0 beta will be when we create a game that has multiple levels, possibly a platformer, possibly a shoot 'em up. I do like shoot 'em ups, so that's what that will be. Then 1.0 will be after that. If there's any sort of refinement stuff that weren't quite required for the game but we could see, then that'll be version 1.0, and then we'll make more games after that. And I'm hoping that other people will pick up the engine and start using it as well. Again, 100% free and 100% code will be available. Probably at this point or somewhere along these lines, probably at this point, start creating some sort of documentation or some sort of way to create a project instead of just downloading this, etc. Run game, I can run it. You're not going to see much because there isn't much to see. Yes. So this will be for Udemy. What do you mean this will be for Udemy? Like, what are you referring to? Because these streams are live on YouTube, which you're watching right now. Do you mean I'll be creating a game using the engine and then create a tutorial series on it for Udemy? No, unlikely. It'll be just live streams, and I'll be. That's the one thing I like about the live streams. Yes, it is less tutorial-y, and I'm doing tutorials as well. But that's all we're getting because we're just testing stuff in the console with JSON file loading, ZFE, XDG. So yeah, Pixelpad, back to your question. Instead of the Udemy side, doing it on YouTube, doing it live streams allows me to show the problems that occur, and sometimes these problems take 10 days to fix, instead of me condensing it down to 10 minutes and being like, here's 2 lines of code to do something, I can be like, okay, this is the process, and you're actually seeing me figure out that process. I'm not telling you the process. I don't know the process. I'm figuring it out. And as a sprite, you said as a sprite. Is sprite 810 pixel R2. I think I've heard of this. Jesus Christ, that's loud. But that is pretty cool. That's one thing I was thinking earlier on where I don't really have in the engine is sprite sheets. Probably won't do that yet. Probably be on one of the subsequent games. Definitely looks interesting. I mean, like, if you want to make an engine, I would focus on the core engine stuff initially. Don't get too bogged down about, you know, pixel art or, you know, this particular game. Just focus on the engine. That's what I'm doing. Just game features in there, and trust me, that'll keep you busy. Forgot to do an announcement. It is what it is. And we'll go. Yeah, but you aren't making much money from YouTube with these views. Can you send me links for the docs you use for making the C++ engine? Yeah, the live streams make jack or basically zero. So yeah, I'm not doing the streams directly to make money. I'm doing it to grow the channel a little bit, and I'm hoping 6 months, a year, maybe 2 years, that the streams grow more and garner more attention, especially once there's some games done and there's the initial release of the engine, and you can actually use it and people can use it. And I'm also thinking the games that I create on there that are free and open source, putting them on Steam, and that'll be a process that'll be new to me, and I'll be testing out, and I'll be live streaming that and how to upload it. That'll be stuff I'll be figuring out because I've never done that before, doing it for Steam or maybe some other platforms as well, like I don't know, Green Man Gaming, if that's possible, or GOG or itch.io, you know, something along those lines. And then I could potentially make that paid, and I'll just put in the comments, you can get it for free, but if you want to support it, you can, you know, pay for that as well. So yeah, it's like the thing with business, because this is essentially what that is. Some things you do for free, some things you do and you make money directly, but it all helps. It's like the videos I was creating like back in 2014 when I first started making videos for the channel. Didn't make anything, but some of those videos either are making money now or help grow the channel, and that some videos in the channel are making money. So it all helps. If you try and create a video and let's say takes 10 hours and you think you're going to get an hourly rate, it ain't going to work that way. But likewise, you'll create that one video as well, because I've got a few videos where I've created it and I'm like, I only spent half an hour on this video, and every month this is bringing in $30, $50, $10, maybe even just $2, and I'm like, that feels pretty nice. So yeah, that's that situation. Can you send links for the docs you use for making the C++ engine? Don't really use any docs. I just, if there's something I'm want to try to figure out, I just Google it. So no particular docs. I would recommend you brush up on whatever language you're using for C++, brush up C++. Look at some other engines, especially ones that are open source. Really look at them, figure out what code they use, coding practices and techniques, especially ones that you don't recognize, and especially ones that you keep seeing. Because I was seeing this in SFML, they do const references. They were passing out. I was like, why are they doing that? And I was like, this is the reason, and I should, you know, implement this now. This is a thing that I learned. Yeah, good man. I hope it does grow. You deserve it. Thanks, really appreciate it. And it just takes time. It's like anything good in life. If you plant a tree, it ain't gonna grow in a day. It takes years, decades, sometimes centuries to really flourish. So yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I've got basically the code committed. I am gonna end the stream here. Thanks for watching. I will see everyone tomorrow for a couple of live streams, probably maybe even 3. One will be a gameplay one in the morning for Ghost of Tsushima. There'll be one at 4 p.m. I'm going to do that on time, which is with the game engine, and I'll try and get a Lego one as well for Lego Star Destroyer, the Ultimate Collection series. My wife bought me that for Valentine's Day, early Valentine's Day present. We basically gave each other our presents early because we couldn't wait. And good night. Thanks, PixelPat says thank you very much. Good night, PixelPat. ZFEXDG said how to run a full engine. I don't know what you mean by that. As in, like, how do you create a full engine? How do you... I don't understand the question. I'm going to get going now. But feel free to post either on Discord or I'll see you tomorrow and we can all discuss it then. So, see ya. Bye-bye.